It's time for your money right here on Morning Express. It's now 20 minutes to 9. And I'll introduce, first of all, our guest, who is our personal financial expert, before we cross over to Ashley Mazuri, who today is a tout, by the way. But first of all, let me start with introducing Patrick Wameo, who's a financial and education consultant. Good to have you, and welcome to the studio. But now I'd like to talk to Ashley. Ashley, good morning. Ashley, good morning.
Michael, good morning.
Good morning, Ashley.
How are you?
All right, and as we're trying to get back that connection, she's actually in a Matatu as we speak. And by the way, this is coming to you live, so there could be signal challenges. And as we try to overcome that, we just wanted to, first of all, find out from Ashley. She has a Matatu tout and a driver, basically just running us through the events that they have throughout the day and how they go about their collections. What do they do with the money at the end of the day? How much do they make at the end of the week? And of course, I'll start with you, Patrick. And as we're waiting for that link from Ashley, the question here being, of course, when somebody has little bits of money that come in every single day, there is that temptation to spend it from hand to mouth and literally not invest. How does one convert that little drips and drops of money coming in into money that you can eventually, save up to buy something or do something constructive with?
Well, that's a very common, call it behavior, literally, but it should not happen because there's no amount of money you can call a lot. What is important, first of all, is to put that self-discipline situation in you, and that doesn't happen without a specific goal that you are really dying for, so to speak, because you're only able to deny yourself insofar as you have a very strong reason that you're really concerned about making happen. So when you have money, whether it's a lot or little on your hands, and you don't have the other compelling reason to take it to, it will certainly flow into your lifestyle. So the element of discipline starts with a strong motivation. Okay. And that strong motivation has to be around a specific thing.
So in other words, are you saying the secret to saving is having a reason to save?
Certainly. I mean, you've seen a very public case here of a gentleman who was doing maize in Kayole.
Correct.
And who eventually saved up to buy a Matatu. It is not that he didn't have life. He did have things to do with that money, but the overwhelming motivation in his situation was to invest in something he believed would give him better money than what he's doing currently. So the whole thing about let me do this up to a point and then transition permanently is important. So it's not the amount of money you have, and in fact that is the bigger trouble we have as a way of life, and I'll be discussing the roots much later. But if you don't have a compelling reason to save, you will not deny yourself.
Where do we go wrong? Because you'll find that, like you've mentioned, a perfect example of somebody who chomas maize for a living, and you'd imagine he gets very little in terms of income per day, but is able to eventually save and buy a Matatu. Whereas you'll have somebody who earns even more than 100,000, yet they still live hand to mouth.
I think I listened to the senator here, and I want to pull that answer from one of the statements he made here. The youth, if you give them money, if you give them a project, they would not break it up. If you give them money, they won't crack the nut. The problem is not money. The problem is psychological.
It's a mentality.
If you don't have the mind to see through, you cannot command the body to follow that. The body has to follow the mind, and the mind has to lead the way. Now, I'm afraid to say that a lot of us are raised in families where the doing bit is zero. And the doing here includes, is saving part of your life, is saving part of your lifestyle. Were your parents savers? Were they investors? Were they doers? Did you see and do? Have you practiced it? Giving you $1 million bob a month will not make you save 10,000, will not make you save 100,000 just because you have more. There has to be the habitual side of it. It has to come to the habit level. Now, unless I have a very strong motivation to do something, and to the extent that I can translate it into a natural habit, savings will not follow automatically. It has to come to the level of a habit.
Okay.
And it starts when we are very young.
That's when we're very young.
Yes.
Now, we have many people watching, and I know many of us probably have the same underlying problem.
Yes.
How do I make it a habit? How do I do this? I want to. Majority of us want to save. And after 10 years, I want to sit back and say, well, I can now buy that car that I love, or I can buy that piece of land, whatever it is that I would like. How do I start that?
There are two words that we must separate. It's like light and darkness, desire and wish. Mm-hmm. When you desire, the extent of motivation is a lot deeper. When you wish to, you're really not connected to that situation. You must move from the wish level to the desire level so that the connection is strong. What I'm saying is this. On a Friday evening, you do have the desire to be with friends. But if the last...
make it happen.
And to make it happen. If you only have enough money to help you unlock something the following day, then by that evening you have to make a choice between disappointing friends and unlocking. But if you'll allow yourself to go and make friends happy and postpone the unlocking, or go into a borrowing to do the unlocking of whatever transaction you need to do, then you haven't come to the level of desire. What I'm saying is discipline transcends the mind, the will, the emotions. Discipline is something you think actively about. Maybe let me put it in a different way. We are three in one. We have a mind for thinking, we have a will for choices, and we have emotions that we express. When it comes to discipline, we are discussing choices, and they are hard choices. And making and living with a hard choice is not something that happens. You have to summon the entire body, mind, and soul to connect into one. So we can and you can do it, but you have first to convince yourself about what you want. Clarity of what you want to achieve is important. If a home is so important to you, then you will, for example, say, okay, let me drive a smaller car.
Sorry, let me cut you short. I'm told we have Ashley Mazuri now. And Ashley, good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
Yes, good morning, Ashley. You're in a Matatu. Fill us in what's happening, and possibly you can go ahead with your interview, Ashley.
Right now, I'm on my way to Ngong Road in a Matatu called Icebreaker. Now, the driver with me is he's called Isaiah Wahome. He's going to be talking to us about the challenges that they face, how much they get every day, and the saving habits. Isaiah Wahome, good morning.
Morning to you.
Every day, how much do you make per day?
As a my Saturday, or as a total collection. Total collection, we have we got like 25 to 26,000, and those 25,000 you share. The owner get 10%. Half of the money is the owner, and then you share the others with you fuel the vehicle, and then you took them the remaining the salary and the remaining car wash, like that.
So unaweza niambia ulifikaje kwa hii situation? Ulianzaje kuwa dereva?
Kuanzia dereva, naweza shukuru tu mtu mmoja ndiye alinisaidia nikuwe dereva. Mwenye alinisaidia nipate daily driving license yangu. Huyo ndiye alifungua njia zangu zote. Who is my aunt mwenye ako uhai leo.
Na uko na familia?
Niko na familia na nimebleziwa na mtoto mmoja wa kijana. Who is my dad.
Tuseme ako na miaka mingapi? Because ka uko na familia, it means you have to have saving habits. So how do you manage to save, earning around 2,000 a day?
I save 1,000 each and every day, so that huyo mtoto asipate. She is 3 weeks now old.
Ashley, I don't know if
yes, Michael.
You can hear me. Is it possible to talk to the conductor as well? I'm just a bit concerned on the safety as you guys are in the vehicle, as you interact with the driver. Maybe if we can talk to the conductor as well and just find out, first of all, how much he also makes, and whether when they collect the 25,000, is that divided amongst the three of them? Is it divided with the boss? How does it work out?
Okay, in a few minutes I will be going to the back of the car where we'll be interacting with the conductor.
Okay. All right. So Ashley Mazuri, you can continue with the interview as we wait for the conductor to be available. Maybe he's currently busy. Over to you, Ashley. right, so we'll get back to Ashley Mazuri if time allows. But the first thing I pick from what the driver is saying is the fact that, first of all, the salary may be unreliable, given the fact that some days you collect this much, depending on the traffic, depending on whether there is unrest in the city, it could be an unreliable form of income. How does one person working in an environment like that ensure that their money counts?
You know, I have the benefit of having owned that kind of vehicle.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not necessarily devoid of the experience.
Of the experience of what they go through.
It is true that the drivers might not get that income every day, but it's also true that they get excess most of the days. What is important here is not to judge them in terms of the amount of money they make. What is important is how they use the money, how they apply the money. The typical habit in that kind of lifestyle is you are getting money tomorrow. So the burning of today's money without thinking about tomorrow is very common among most. Doesn't mean all of them, but there are few among those drivers and conductors who have genuine projects that they really believe in. That those who think that there's something else to do tend to put money aside very consistently. Some go into groups, some individually. What is important here is that there are people who are capable of denying themselves a proportion of that income every day and push it towards a specific goal.
So it goes back to the desire.
It
still goes back to the
row.
desire and what you are planning, or if you, let's call it a vision, you have something that you're envisioning to buy. Okay, and that discipline is something that hopefully should be cultivated as you're growing up. But for those who possibly did not have that discipline, is it too late?
No, it's not, because as we grow up, let me quickly break up the life of a person along the journey from a babyhood to say 71 years. You have approximately 6 to 8 years within which you transition psychologically. The first 6 ending around age 7, age 6, then the next 7, then the next 7, then the next 7. So I'm discussing age 1, age 7, age 7, age 14, age 15, age 15, 21, age 22, 29, age 30, age 29, 35, in that kind of movement.
Okay.
Along those journeys, a baby is transitioning, and for the first 14 years, the baby is subject to parenting. Okay. So a lot of who the baby becomes by their behavior and therefore the disciplines are acquired directly from the people who nurtured them.
Okay.
Not necessarily a blood parent, could be an auntie whoever you lived with.
Or even their schools.
What is important that at the age of 19, 18, you then now have the capacity to drive your own life. So from that age to date, including the age you are today, you only need to make a choice and decide to live with the consequences.
All right, let's cross over back to Ashley Mazuri, who is still in the Matatu. And hopefully now we have the Matatu operator. Ashley, over to you. Are you? Yes, we can see her there. And Ashley, yes, let us know. Over to you, to your interview with the operator.
Michael, I'm here with Marcus, who is one of the conductors. He's going to be telling us why they hike fares exactly, what leads to that process, and then also going to be explaining to us about the graffiti in the bus, and also the screens, and also how exactly they're able to afford all this. Marcus, ka unaweza niambia, kawaida nyinyi mnafanya kazi mkiwa wawili, ukiwa na Njuguna, mnapata pesa ngapi kwa siku?
Pesa tunapata sema dhao mbele 25.
Nyote na mnaganya, so mkiwa watatu, Njuguna, Marcus na Isaiah Dere, mnaganya 2000 ama ni aje?
Mnaanza mshahara iko wagi fixed. Mnapata saa zingine dhao 3, saa zingine 25. Kulingana na venye siku imeshinda, juu siku hazifananaje.
Na mbona sana nyinyi huongeza fare wakati kuna mvua? Ni nini inafanya muongeze fare? Ni lazima.
Sana sisi hatujaiongeza fare zaidi ya so. Tunalipishaga zaidi ni so. Na so inakuwaga ukisema ni kuongezea fare, gari zingine zinaongezaga kozi. Kuna saa zingine unakutaka gari hakuna, inabidi umeongezea juu watu ni wengi.
Marcus, nikuulize, uko na familia?
Niko na familia.
Uko na mtoi?
Niko na mtoi.
Sasa hapo shule una manage aje pesa yako?
Kukaa tu chini na bibi mnajimanage, mnajipanga, mnaweza kujimudu kimaisha.
Nikuulize, unaweza feel kama hii kazi yenu iko underappreciated na Wakenya?
Unajua waga wanatukasa, wanadai nini utaishi makanga nini, lakini sisi bado tuko tu poa, tunajipeaga tu morale, tunasikia tuko poa. Hata wakisema hivyo sisi tuko tu poa.
Na hii mambo ya graffiti sana sana siku hizi ni kitu latest. Watu upada mat sana zenye ziko na graffiti, ziko na ma screens. Ni pesa ngapi mna spend kufanya hizi vitu zote?
Ni domo, ambapo sisi ni mwenye gari, lakini ni domo. Kabla gari sema ni kufika hapa imekula mamilioni ya do. Juu na ndio naona gari zingine zinaga graphics, juu wanashindwa na hiyo expenses za hiyo graphics. Sasa unaona lazima ufike bei kuchora hivi vyote.
Njuguna kanaweza kuuliza, all of the time huo umesimama hapo, auogopi safety yako?
Hapana, siogopi.
Kwa nini?
Hapo niko mlango, nimezoea. Sana kwa mko ni ngumu, hata nirasmi siwi.
Well, Michael, you can see what goes on inside the bus. We are on our way to Ngong Road right now.
All right, Ashley, and I'll just request that you keep safe, because please don't try any of those antiques. I'm not sure that you have insurance and the ability to swing like they're doing. But thank you so much, Ashley. Because of time, we'll have to wind it up right there. But thank you so much for riding in the Matatu. And by the way, I don't know, have they charged you? Did you have to pay? I'll pay for your fare.
Not yet, but we'll see how it goes.
Kuja na receipt, I'll refund you. I'll make sure that I refund you the fare. But anyway.
Okay.
Well, that's where we're going to have to wind it up because of time. And thank you so much, my dear guests, because we've not had time to actually explore and go into that. I think we'll have you come back sometime and we can look at it, because I still wanted to know the best ways to save. There's some who save in circles, others save in banks, others under the mattress, the best way to save. So we'll definitely have you back. But because of time, we'll really have to wind it up right there. But do stay with us right here on KTN News. Coming up next, we've got Najma Ismail, and she's taking a world view. So do stay with us right here on KTN News.